Look out in the street there. You know what you don't see? My car, because I had to sell it to pay the lawyer I hired when I got busted for drunk driving. You know what else you don't see? My girlfriend, who decided that a guy with no car and no license and no money was no fun. And hey, you know what else you don't see? You don't see me leaving for work in the morning, because I missed so much time with court and everything that I got fired.
Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Napa know-how.
When you purchase a set of Napa brake pads and rotors, you get a discount code from Fanatics.com worth up to $50 towards your favorite sports gear. While Napa can't help your team reach the promised land, we can help make sure your car will, because these brakes come with something no sports team does: guaranteed performance. Great brakes, great price, great fan gear. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Offer expires September 30th, 2017.
Hello, Internet. It is I, Dan, from the Internet. Gonna do something a little bit different today. It's Sunday, so it's the holiday weekend, and we were talking about doing some stuff earlier about people showing off their own stuff. So we're gonna do something a little different called Fab. What did I call it? Fab
5, I think.
Fab 5, something like that.
The U of M basketball team.
Fab 5 favorites. Mainly because, we're in Michigan, so, U of M thing. That was kind of a callback to that.
Okay.
Plus, I like Jalen Rose.
Go blue.
Yeah, sure. And it also kind of, it's a chance for you guys to kind of show off some of the stuff you like. In this case, we have a gentleman who has been to the store quite a bit. He's also been in the chat quite a bit. In the chat, he's referred to as the comic book assassin for all intents and purposes. I may just call him Matt. Or
That's
CBA.
fine, Dan. You can do that.
or CBA, we'll see. So what we're going to do is, we'll show off some books that he brought in. Not necessarily like his favorite things of all time, because, he's got some stuff in his collection that we would have had to have a Brink security guard. And I'm not paying for that. So we'll show some stuff off. We'll talk a little bit about, why he really wanted that book in his collection, and go from there. We're not going to go into all the craziness as far as the book and delving into the dream he had in the Sweat Lodge or anything about why he needed this book or anything like that. It's a real thing that happened. So yeah, anyway, first off, why comics? Why did you get into comics? What keeps you into comics?
I probably got into comics maybe 2 or 3 years ago, seriously.
Really?
Yeah, I've always liked...
So you weren't like a kid doing this, huh?
No, I actually bought a couple of comic books back at Gibraltar Trade Center, which is closed now. I think when I was maybe 8, 9, 10.
Crazy to say, man. Gibraltar is no longer a thing.
Yeah, I bought 2 comic books there for like $1 a piece, and there was Amazing Spider-Man 362 and 363. So if anyone knows, that's the second appearance of Carnage and the third, which is a great story, but I never had 361 for the longest time.
So you bought those when you were a kid?
Yeah,
Okay.
I dug them up maybe 3 years ago, and I was like, oh, these are cool. I forgot I had these, and then I figured I had to buy some more.
What brought you back? Like you said 3 years ago. That's really surprising to me, because you do get, especially now with the movies, we do get some guys who just pop into comics or whatever. But it's usually they read a few stories here and there. They don't really get in the collecting aspect of it. Not entirely true, but like with you especially, because you and also your cousin, you guys come in quite a bit, and you guys hardcore collect, man. Like you guys have things that you want, and not only just comics, but you collect statues, you collect a few other things too.
I've always been a collector of cool things, I guess. I'm a big Transformers fan, and
Cool things.
cool as in probably pricier things.
That's right, because when you first started coming in here, we were at Warp 9 Comics at 14 Mile Main Street in downtown Clawson, Michigan. Ding.
Great story, guys. Coming in, they're awesome.
You first started coming in, and we used to talk Transformers a lot.
Yeah, I got a big Masterpiece Transformers collection.
Yeah, okay.
I was flirting with going G1 also.
Coming back to me. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, so I got those on display at home, but I'm just a big superhero fan in general. I watched all the cartoons when I was a kid. Loved the movies that, as they were coming out in the last few years, and I don't know, I bought a couple of comic books. I think I bought Amazing Spider-Man 238, which is the first Hobgoblin.
Oh, cool.
And then I bought
It's a fun one. We have that on the wall, actually.
And then I bought that was Raw, and then I bought another copy of Amazing Spider-Man 361. So those are probably the next 2 comic books that really started my whole collecting.
Seems like Spider-Man is kind of pretty top of your list there.
Yeah, Spider-Man's definitely my favorite. I think he's almost
Okay.
everyone's favorite.
Not mine.
Not yours? Okay.
Not mine. I like the Spider-Man universe more than I like Spider-Man. I don't get me wrong. He's Peter Parker. He's great. You know what I mean? But I love his Rogues Gallery. I love obviously the Spider Babes, as I call them. I have the first appearance of Gwen Stacy. I can't afford the first appearance of Mary Jane, so I have the first cover appearance of Mary Jane. I love Felicia Hardy. I love those characters.
I might say Batman might be... He's a lot of people's favorites,
Well,
but obviously to collect
yeah.
anything serious Batman takes serious money. Like Golden Age stuff, just out of the question for most people.
What about favorite villain?
So favorite villain,
It's really hard for me to get put on the spot with favorite stuff too. So we can skip it if you like.
Favorite villain. I'm gonna have to think about that
Okay,
one.
yeah, we'll maybe wrap.
If you
it
narrowed
back
it down
around.
to one hero's villain, it might be a little
Okay.
easier. But
I've really been later in life getting into a lot of the
Favorite
DC
villain of all
villains,
time.
especially like Reverse Flash.
Okay.
You know, even like I guess we can call Superboy Prime a villain at this point. I really like that they kind of made him evil towards the end of Infinite Crisis. I thought that was interesting. But that's just me. So without further ado, we're gonna show off. All these books are gonna be graded. As far as that goes, because it's, you know, we could show some raw stuff, but Matt collects a lot of graded stuff. Some of the stuff you had graded yourself, or or is this all stuff you bought?
I've had a few things, maybe a small amount of my collection, maybe a handful of books.
So this stuff here, though, this is all stuff you bought graded?
Yes, all of this I bought graded.
Okay. I was gonna say, next time if we have books that we have on here that we decided to grade ourselves, we can kind of go through the process of that a little
I
bit.
got some raw books, but I just thought it'd be easier to transport something that's already kind of
graded.
protected, as opposed to a raw book. You can kind of bend it here and there, whatever.
So first and foremost, let's show off the book numero uno.
This is the first one on the list here. Take a good shot of that.
Miss Marvel, graded at 9.2 by the fine folks at CGC. Published January 1977. It's the first Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. It's not the first Carol Danvers. That was in Marvel Superheroes number 13.
Which I do have.
Oh, nice, dude. Writer Jerry Conway. Artists were John Buscema, Joe Sinnott, and then the cover was actually by John Romita Sr. So why this book?
Maybe it was one of those books that I was speculating like any collector.
As soon as you heard movie, you were like, all right, here we go.
Well, yeah, I figured they were probably going to do a Captain or Miss Marvel movie eventually. I actually bought this book and the first Carol Danvers, which one? I can't remember the title. I always forget.
It was Marvel Superheroes number 13.
Yeah, I bought those two together before they announced. I think that Brie Larson was going to be Captain Marvel.
She's a great choice for that, by the way.
Yeah, Oscar-winning, Academy Award-winning actress.
Not even just that. She's just. I mean, as soon as I saw some of the pics of her in the in the suit, like even the photoshopped ones, I was like, holy shit, she's Captain Marvel.
So I mean, as a collector, obviously, I collect a lot of mostly the key issues, the first appearances. This was one female. I thought a potential big name for the movies. I thought it's a cool cover. It's not one of the greatest, but it's one of those more affordable key issues that you can get for a pretty major character.
For sure, yeah.
This is a 9.2. If you get in the lower grade, it's very reasonable.
You can find them in pretty good shape too, because being 1977, there were a few more made then. As far as the book for me, obviously, the first Miss Marvel is really cool. It's a great book, like you said, as far as affordability goes for your collection. If you're trying to start getting key books, it's a good one to kind of speculate on a little bit. Mainly because it'll always kind of hover upwards. It's not going to blow the doors off, because her first appearance as Carol Danvers obviously was in the Marvel Superheroes number 13. But the Miss Marvel thing's important, and just like later when she finally did the whole Captain Marvel thing, which was I think in Avenging Spider-Man,
something like that.
It was fairly recent, but even that book is a good book to kind of hang on to. So she's a cool character because she's got several different books that she's appeared in that have potential to either kind of grow your collection, or even grow your bank account too, if you like.
And even if you're not a big Captain Miss Marvel fan, I think somewhere early in this run, I think is Mystique's first appearance.
I believe you're right.
Number 7 or 8 or something like that. So even if you think this book is out of your price range, you might still be able to get a good Miss Marvel title with a first appearance of a character. So if you're interested in Mystique, you can hunt that one down and probably get that one fairly.
So it being
cheap.
graded at 9.2, that was like, you're like, okay, that's a cool grade for me.
When I bought this, I've learned a lot in the last year or so. My cousin and I were big collectors, and now that I look back, I do regret a little bit buying the 9.2. Okay. I wish I would have just stepped up and bought a little higher grade.
But you're not one of those guys that's like 9.8 everything.
No, that'd be my cousin Jason. He's 9.8 everything.
I want to get some T-shirts made for the store that just say 9.8 everything.
If you're a serious collector, though, this is one of those books that you can probably get reasonably for a 9.8. It's not going to blow the doors down with certain books. So if you're a huge Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel fan, the 9.8 is definitely within reason if you save up, I guess. It's going to be probably quite a few $100s, but not
Yeah,
a crazy.
but you know,
one.
9/8 obviously are considered near mint for those of you who aren't
Yeah.
familiar with grading scales or anything. Obviously, 10 is the most, and then NG, which is non-gradable, is not so much.
I wouldn't call this title
Savage
objectively
Spider-Man
like
number
a-
8, according to Spacker in the chat, is the first Captain Marvel. So thank you for that, sir.
I wouldn't call this book necessarily like a blue chip investment key issue if that's what you're looking for. So buying the 9.2 as opposed to 9.8 is not necessarily going to kill you if this book does go. I don't think that book is ever going to skyrocket.
No, but it's also never going to tank either, though.
No. So
Yeah.
any grade you buy it in is going to be a good buy.
Yeah,
Even
oh
if you
yeah.
buy a raw copy that's not in the greatest shape, it's not going to go down. So
What do we have next?
let's see. Next we have.
Sorry, we're trying this whole new setup here, so
This is an interesting one for you guys. Amazing Spider-Man 361. You can probably tell, as we talked about this
So-
earlier. Our friends at CBCS happen to grade this one 9.8 with white
9.8.
pages, and this book is very hard to find centered very well. And I was lucky enough to get this one centered.
Dude,
and,
that is 100% true. I was just about to say that. A lot of times you'll
Some
you'll
reason with
see
that
a
one.
lot of because there's a black line that goes right down the spine here, and with the black line, a lot of times you'll see it at one or the other. It's never perfect. It's
This
very
one's-
hard to get
This one's
perfect.
fairly good. A lot of times you can see more on the back. It'll be more pronounced here. You'll see some of the front cover on the back there. So you might get part of Spider-Man on this logo here on the back. And
So for Amazing Spider-Man 361, I know some people in here are like, I don't know what that is, but let's kind of break it down for the layman. Published April 1992, first appearance of Carnage, who's now, he's a big deal now. People are speculating the hell out of this book right now. Writer Dave Michelini, artist Mark Bagley, who actually was part of that huge Ultimate Spider-Man run with Brian Michael Bendis, and then also Randy Emberlin was the inker, and then Bagley also did the cover as well. This book has exploded over the past
definitely
several months. It had always been one of those that people were kind of speculating on. It'd go up a little bit. Now it's like everybody wants one. There's a lot of them out there being a 90s book, but like he said, there's a ton out there that are not. If you look at them, because we had somebody who came in and brought us 4 of those at one point in time, and every single one of them was different down that spine.
yeah, this book's notorious for the centering being off. I think this was a big undervalued book for the last few years.
Big time. Oh, yeah.
I thought Spider-Man 300 reached its peak at about $1,000 for a 9.8. I was wrong because as soon as Sony announced the Venom movie, that book launched about. It's almost. I think it went up to $2,000 at one point for a 9.8. It might have come down to like 1,800, 1,700.
I sold a really beat up copy for about $150. And the guy was he was stoked about it. We sold another one here, had a torn Spider-Man 300, not this book, sorry. It had a torn piece of the spine, so we knew it wasn't going to go for very good money. But on Free Comic Book Day, we had one of the members come in here, and he's always wanted the book, and he was like, he bought it, he got it at a good price, he was stoked, But with this book, there is a lot of them out there. But being the first Carnage, and now with the Venom movie, we're about to get symbiote crazy here. You
can't drop the cash on Spider-Man 300. This is
it's a runner-up in a way.
Yeah, it's got one thing it's got going for it. He's actually on the cover.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 300, Venom's not on there. It's just Spidey in the black suit. So I know for a lot of times that can detract from buyers. It's like, oh, it's a cool issue. It's the first, I don't know, Dark Side, but he's not on the cover or something.
Right.
So that can be a big thing.
Yeah, I have a special place in my heart for books that have the actual thing on the cover.
It
Like
helps.
first Black Cat, obviously first Punisher is a big one. First, we'll get into another first book later. I don't want to spoil it yet.
This book exploded though when they announced the whole Carnage thing. Venom movie, but
Yeah.
it's there's the big thing with this one. I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but if you're gonna buy the 9.8, you want to go for that right there, the newsstand version with the barcode. There's another version. I think it's like the direct version. It's got a
Direct
little,
market.
yeah, it's got a little
Yep.
Spidey symbol there. I think in the black mask. This one is definitely the more, I would say, rare of the two, I guess. Not that it really affects price that drastically, but if you are hunting for a 9.8 or higher grade of this book, I'd recommend get the one with the barcode, the newsstand version. Just makes it a little bit more desirable.
See, I've heard the opposite. Some people,
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. People like they look for the one with the barcode, but I feel like a lot of people like the way that the direct market one displays more, just because you get
I
little
like the
Spidey
look
guy
of the
there.
logo one a little bit better, but I think not necessarily that maybe it's rare, but I know with the newsstand those got handled maybe a little bit more, so they're harder to find in high grade. That might be the reason why. In the end, though, it doesn't matter if you got First Carnage 9.8. The grade's gonna speak for itself. It's just when you get to really serious, crazy collectors, they might look for that. So for the average person, though,
Crazy collectors. Who are those guys? I've never seen those guys. Like seeing a unicorn.
you got a few bucks, you're saving up for a big book. I recommend this one though. True first appearance. He's on the cover. It's Spider-Man, and who doesn't like Carnage, man?
Yeah. We'll talk later.
Who doesn't like Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, it's a great
It
one
is
for
a
the
cool
Spider-Man
cover, though.
fan. So, and it's a great villain, and with the whole movie thing coming, obviously. So,
You can't go wrong with this book.
next up, next.
This
one I'm pretty excited for.
Let's change gears here. We're going Batman 227. Yeah, DC. I'm a Marvel fanboy, by the way, more, but
Yeah.
I love me
Okay.
some DC. So we got a CGC 7.0 on this guy there.
So, Batman 227, December 1970 was the publishing date. The cover's done by Neil Adams, which is one of the reasons that it's kind of a more sought after, because the old Neil Adams Batman covers were kind of a big deal. Writer was Denny O'Neil. Denny O'Neil was very, very good. And then you had the artist is Irv Novick, and Big Dick Giordano was the one who was doing the inks.
That's some name, huh?
who later became, I think he was one of the editors or editor-in-chief for a while, man. I mean, it was... Neil Adams is the man. Yeah, actually, Spacker did some work for Neil Adams. He had his daughter had called here asking us if we knew anybody who wanted to work his booth at Motor City Comic Con. We were like, sure. I wasn't gonna do it, but
So this book, I probably bought this maybe 6 months ago. It's just because it's a cool cover. I don't really think there's anything key about it. It is a cover swipe of Detective Comics 31, so back from like 1940 or whatever.
but redone by Neil Adams.
Yeah, and obviously that book is without a, it's if you just have that book complete, it's like $40,000.
Oh, is that all?
So yeah, that's all. So like half the cover missing, maybe page 2 missing. You need about 30-40 grand for that. So I thought this was a cheaper alternative for a similar looking cover.
Yeah, definitely a way to go. Well, kind of like when I got my Mary Jane cover. I was like, okay, I'll get the Mary Jane cover because I can't
Cover
afford the
over
first Mary
cover?
Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't afford the first Mary
Gotcha.
Jane. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, those,
So with this, like being DC, was this like one of those books that you were just like, I really like the cover, I should just get it. If I'm gonna get it, I might as well get it graded. And if I'm gonna get it graded,
Yeah,
I might as well get it 9.8 because it's somewhat
I've
affordable
kind
at
of
9.8.
I've gone away from buying the raw books because I prefer most of mine graded, and this
Just
way
locked in time. Is that kind of the thing?
this way I can ensure that it's going to be unrestored. I try not to buy any raw books more than that are like a couple or a few $100s, because then the risk I could just buy a graded book. But this was just one of those cool covers. I'm a huge Batman fan. Used to watch the Batman animated series all the time when I was a kid in the 90s.
That was pretty much a
classic.
staple, man. That was a staple.
Yeah.
Everybody watched that in the 90s. It was I mean, we could go on and on about that.
I mean, I don't know who wouldn't like that
Hours.
cover. I mean, the Dark Knight looks amazing on this cover. He's shadowing over, I think, like a castle or a mansion. But if you get the chance, look up Detective Comics 31. That cover is probably one of the best covers of all time, and I think it's a top 10, maybe top 5 comic book as far as price range of all time.
Oh, was it really?
It's up there
Old
with, like,
detective books are.
It's up there with like Tech 27, Action 1, Batman #1. It's right up there as far as price. It's probably the best Batman's ever looked.
Was there something going on in that book?
I can't remember what it is. Basically any of the first 10 appearances of Batman before Robin are desirable. They're considered key issues even if there's nothing special on, just because Robin wasn't introduced
They're
until
like
30.
before that young piece of shit ruined
Yeah.
Batman.
Well, the first, I think from Detective 27 to 37, the Batman is very gothic, dark looking. I guess he killed people, he had a gun, and then in 38,
used to roll strapped.
when Robin shows up, then Batman's all smiley. If you look
Yeah.
at all the Batman books after, he's smiley and nice. The other ones, he's killing people.
And then he got really dark again after Frank Miller got a hold of him.
Yeah, so those early pre-Robin Texas, they're called, the gothic ones, those are highly desirable, very expensive, very cool, hard to find though.
No, I can tell you, like when it comes to, like the Neil Adams covers Batmans, I mean, we can't keep them in stock. Every time we get them, they sell.
So if you're a huge Batman fan, you want a cool cover, and you just don't have 50 grand to drop on a book, this is a great option. If you go lower grade, you can get very reasonable. I got a 7.0 off-white pages. 7.0, I think it looks pretty good. There's just some defects you're going to see, but for the most part, I think it still presents pretty well.
Displays well.
Yeah, even, I'd say if you're going for a book, my guidelines is a 4.0 is about right where a book can still look very good, but be low grade. And you can get
Yeah.
lucky with lower grades even, too.
Yeah, no, I've
Just
had that a couple of
depends,
times where, I thought something was about a 5 or so, and it would come back like a 6 or 6.5.
All grades are not equal. You can have two of the same grade, and one will look superior than the other.
Okay.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, just because they didn't knock it down on the grade doesn't mean the book won't display a little better. With me, I'm not too picky. As long as it's a book that I really like and I can afford, I'll stick with something 5, 6, or 7. I don't mind that at all.
I know a lot of you guys out there too that enjoy the raw comics. I have some too. A raw comic in Mylar, it's hard to beat the way that looks. I think that beats even in these cases. So if you're just one of those guys that likes the raw books, you don't care about the grade, buy a raw copy, put it in the Mylar, and it'll look fantastic.
Agreed. Well, let's go into one of your heavy hitters.
All right. This next one here, I'd say any series collector's got to have this in their arsenal.
And probably knows this cover from about 5 miles away.
Yeah, it's not a rare book by any means. You see it at every show, but it's super desirable and probably one of the more valuable Bronze Age.
I would say so.
Key issues. You probably can just tell by the colors and who's on it what this is.
Incredible Hulk number 181.
Let's see, we got a 7.5 off-white to white pages.
First appearance of Wolverine. Writer was Len Wein. Artist Herb Tripp and Jack Abel. Cover by Herb Tripp, John Romita Sr., and Gaspar Saladino. This book is another one of those that went... It was... It's gone nuts, especially after the Logan movie.
This is probably, if you're looking to put one book in your collection that you can show off, like your centerpiece, this has got to be one of the most desired books, simply because it's huge. 1974, so it's not crazy old, and Wolverine's a fan favorite. Wherever you go, he's probably one of the coolest characters in X-Men, in Marvel, in comic book.
Well, he started the whole new wave of X-Men. It was, he was part of the giant size X-Men that debuted Storm and Colossus and Nightcrawler, and another one of those books that's like a must-have for real serious collectors is that giant size X-Men. Do you have one of those?
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of the books that my cousin keeps telling me to get. And I
You're
really need
a
to
Marvel
pick one
guy
up.
too. I figured.
I really need to pick up a giant size X-Men, but
thicker book, so it's tough to get without spine roll.
I know we're doing 5 books tonight, but if we do a bonus round, I might have one that can top the giant size X-Men.
Okay, we might do a bonus round.
Now that Dan brought that up, it makes me feel bad that I don't have that. 'Cause I need to have it in my collection. I'm sure one day.
He's like, well, I don't have that, but I have this, bitch.
I'm sure one day Warp 9 will bring one in, and Dan will do something to make me buy it like he usually
We've
does.
had it a couple of times. I don't make anybody do anything. Dan suggests things that you may want into your collection.
This is the biggest, probably not well-known secret. Is Warp 9 for some reason always finds the things that I'm looking for, and that causes a problem with my wallet. So.
Yeah, I do that with a lot of people.
I'm looking for this 2 weeks later. They got it. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something, you might want to show up here.
Yeah, which is funny because you keep talking about you need a Spider-Man number 100. Yeah, it still sits there.
It's still there.
It
yeah,
still sits there.
It's very well priced, I'll say too. I'm thinking about it. But,
So, Hulk, is that like, or I wouldn't say Hulk, Wolverine, is that like top 3 characters for you then, being a Marvel guy?
he might be top 5.
Okay.
I'd have to think about. I've never really put a top list together.
Because another little thing about this book is he has the Sideshow statue that kind of goes hand in hand with this book.
Yeah, it looks just like the cover. Actually, it's fantastic. And if you
gigantic.
look at Wolverine's face or his mask, it's not quite the modern Wolverine we know of today.
No, it's way different.
It's kind of looks a little goofy if you look at it, but it's...
This is back when he was hanging out in front of Tim Hortons and stuff because he was a Canadian. And then he came down and he got some style because in America we have style.
I think it says, he's here, the world's first and greatest Canadian superhero. I think in this story, the Hulk is fighting the Wendigo character.
Yep.
Who is on the cover there. And I think he's on the cover of Hulk 180 as well.
Yep.
So the Canadian government sends the Wolverine in to trying to stop that because they're destroying everything.
Right. Yeah.
So
messing up all the trees, getting maple syrup everywhere. I mean, it was bad. it was bad. It was a massacre.
Now, obviously, this book is out of the price range for a lot of people. I think 10 years ago, man, you could have got like a 3 or a 4 for $100. Now that book's about an $800-900 book. It's gone up that much. So if you really can't get this book, Hulk 180 is a great option. I think they listed as the first partial cameo appearance, but if you look at the very last page, I think one of the panels, there's a full shot of Wolverine.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It will always be known as the cameo appearance book. We actually have one right now.
Yeah,
That's
this is the money book though, but I'm just saying if
Yeah.
if you're saying I'm never gonna be able to afford that, 180 is kind of like a decent, not so really
it's a second place prize.
substitute. Yeah, it's never gonna be this book, but
It's still a great book, but it doesn't have them on the cover, which is kind of a big one.
but
And-
180 is going up as well.
Oh
That
yeah,
book
no,
is-
it's still incredibly expensive.
That's a great investment book. It's not going to be quite this one, but it's still a great book. And I don't have that one in my collection. And this store, guess what? They have one.
We do. We have one right now. It's about $400.
Yeah.
The 181. The cool thing is, whenever we get them, they do sell. We actually had one that was graded at a 9.0, something like that. We ended up getting rid
It was
of
a
it.
9.2,
Was it a
actually.
9.2?
It was something high, crazy.
Yeah, we got rid of it for like $3,600. So I mean, that tells you it wasn't even. It wasn't even mint. You know what I mean? It wasn't even
Yeah,
perfect, but it was a good one. you know?
I'm sure the owner actually sold that at a good price too.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
actually, we did a little trading with a guy. We ran into a guy at Motor City Comic Con. He's another dealer. He had one that was graded at like a 7.0, but he really wanted to get one that was a higher grade. So he traded us that and a bundle of cash, and it worked out for everybody because when you add it up, we ended up flipping the other 181 for a good price, and we got basically exactly what we wanted out of the book. So it worked out great for everybody. That guy got what he wanted. The store made money. Trey was happy. What can I say? When Trey's happy, Dan's happy.
Side note, if you can't get this one, I believe Wolverine is dead in the comics right now. Is
Yes.
that true?
Yes.
NYX number 3. First appearance of
X-23.
X-23. She's
Laura
the new
Kinney.
Wolverine.
That book is incredibly expensive right now.
It's not the greatest cover, but if
I
you,
love that cover.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I love that cover. It's not.
She doesn't have her claws going on. Or
No, but that was kind of the
costume,
point of
but-
the issue, though. You didn't really know that she had claws until the very end
it's
of
the
the
very
issue.
last,
Spoilers.
Yeah, she kills some guy in a bed or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And then you find out she has claws, and it was like, holy shit. So that one, like, I understand why they didn't do the cover because they would have kind of threw the
that's
baby out with the
true. I can
bathwater.
understand that, yeah.
So, but she's still on the cover. It's just not her traditional, it's not her traditional Laura Kinney trying to cut somebody's face off kind of pose.
That's a hard book to find in high grade books. I think like Batman Adventures 12, that was an unwanted book.
It's a kid's book, man.
It was in the dollar bins for
low,
years.
Low orders for a lot of
So-
stores on that book, and then also, once they got out in the world, kids read them.
Yeah. But this is one of the greatest covers, I think, of.
One of the most iconic, one of the most
Yeah, I mean,
recognizable
it's-
covers, one of the most recognizable books. Pretty much anybody who's been in comics for longer than 5 seconds can see that cover and be like, "Yep."
Even at your local
First
shows, you're
Wolverine.
gonna find dealers that have this. It's everywhere. But it's always going up though. So it's a great investment book. I'd recommend buying it if you got the money to swing for it. If you're thinking between 180 and 181, go with 181.
If you can afford it.
If you can,
obviously.
yeah. Don't
don't
give up
yeah.
food and stuff for the next 2 weeks. Don't do that.
No, your kids still got to go to college, or just get rid of your kids.
We're on number 5 now.
We are on number 5.
This one's a good one.
Number 5. This one is.
You guys probably heard about these guys here.
They're kind of a big deal.
Let's see that.
That is Avengers number 1, numero uno. It is graded at a 4.0 by our friends at
I don't think Dan's seen
CGC.
this one yet.
No,
so you
man,
can take a
this
look
thing
at
is
it.
awesome.
Avengers number 1. It's got Iron Man in his gold armor, Incredible Hulk, Thor, and then if you can look in the bottom, there's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look closer, they're fighting Loki. So it kind
Who's
of goes in
also
line
on
with the
the
very
cover.
first movie.
God damn, that's
It's
awesome.
really early appearance of all these characters. I think 1963.
1963 was the publication, September 1963. Writer was obviously Stan the Man Lee. Artist, come on, man, is the king.
The king,
Jack
man.
Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers was doing the inks, and Jack Kirby obviously did the cover. 1963. I mean, the 60s. Come on now. It was like there was some stuff going down in comics, especially on the Marvel side of the fence there. Amazing book, absolutely amazing book. I mean, this is without the Avengers number 1, there would be no crazy Avengers movies. There wouldn't be huge.
I'm hoping this
fandoms.
book takes off with the new Avengers movie because this book is in a lull right now. I would say across
We're
the
on what, the third Avengers movie,
Yeah,
fourth Avengers
I would say
movie,
across
so-
the board, this book right now is down about 15 to 20% what it was.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
if you're
though.
looking to buy a big book, this might be one to look into. It's early appearance of Iron Man, Hulk, Thor. Last time I checked, those individual first appearances were kind of expensive.
Oh yeah.
Tales of
Yeah.
Suspense 39.
Well, I think even
Incredible Hulk 1.
Loki's own appearance is probably
Yeah, what is
pretty
he's early
expensive.
Journey into Mystery, like 86
Something
or
like
7.
that. Yeah. All those early Journey in the Mysteries are expensive.
I know someone
books.
that's got that book, so
Yes.
not on my list, but this is a great cover. Earth's mightiest superheroes. I think Iron Man he says that against when he's fighting Loki. And
Was this one of those books that was on your list from the get-go, or was this one of those like you saw the movie and you were like, I think Avengers 1 would be a good one in my collection?
No, this was probably my first or second really big book that I purchased. I can't remember. I did have another book once upon a time that I sold, and it was a big book, and I might have sold it right before I bought this one. But this was one of the bigger ones. I bought it just because I wanted the Avengers, and I just couldn't afford, first Iron Man, first Incredible Hulk,
Yet.
first Thor.
Yet.
Yeah.
Right? Hold out hope. Hold out hope.
I was entertaining the idea of buying Tales of Suspense 39, but that one cost a pretty penny. It's a great cover. I do have there's a little scrape by Ant-Man there, which kind of upsets me, but
Oh, it is
I
a
can
4.0.
I can live with it. I think it still looks great. 4.0. It looks good. It's got great color. There's a little cream tanning going on to the cover on the edge, but
Yeah, I mean, with any of the funny thing is with this, there is some tanning on the outside here, and it's kind of funny because this is actually sky blue.
yeah.
If you notice, it's supposed to be sky blue.
It's definitely faded for sure a little bit.
Yeah, faded a little bit on the side. It's a good thing to me that it's sky blue though, because whenever you did white back in the day and white covers, it was hard to get them white. It was hard to keep them white.
All white, all black covers are usually a no-no. Those are
Yeah.
hard to find.
Well, because then
Looking good.
even if you did put them in a baggie or something, you weren't finding one that was acid free.
that's true.
That wasn't happening back then. It's one of the most iconic books to have, obviously. Whenever you see Avengers merchandise, especially for anything for old T-shirts or wall hangs or posters, that's one of the covers you see almost right away. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with they were well, Kirby and most of his relatives are kind of passed on. We don't have to pay them.
Side note, if you can't afford this one, I think Avengers 4 is a first Silver Age Cap appearance.
Yeah.
So that's another great book that's getting expensive, but it is not, not going crazy. You can get this one in low grade for a pretty reasonable price if you can stomach, like a 1.0 or a 1.8.
Ones are tough because ones usually means there's either writing or there's something missing
Crease
from the
to
cover.
hell,
Yeah.
piece missing. Or,
There's probably pieces missing from the cover at a 1. I think if you get up to about a 3, my first Gwen Stacy is a 3. It's got a little piece missing from the cover. But I've seen other 3s that the only reason that they're a 3 is because the spine is just
I got a 3.5 in another key issue, and it's got a missing triangle, a little corner about that big, and I can live with that because I'd rather have one defect like that brings the grade down as opposed to lots of little creases and nicks here. So if you can live with a missing corner, you might be able to get a book that still presents pretty well if you can stomach just that corner missing.
Yeah, that stuff, as long as it's not dead center and it's not
Yeah.
ripped to shit.
You don't want a hole missing through the Hulk's face or something. Like that.
Right, yeah, that's a big no-no. Even if it was a hole missing in the text, it would probably bother the ever-living crap out of me. But I can't afford nice things like this. That's why I have this thing. You guys bring in cool stuff and we can talk about
Oh,
it.
trust me, I'm still making the payments on it. But I'm hoping this book goes up one day. I can sell it for some money. But right now it's down a little bit, so hoping it comes back to life with the new movie. Who knows if some of the Avengers die? Maybe this will go up. I know Loki's in the next few films, so
Mr. Mike Max says the only way to be really sure that book is good is to crack the shell open and check it out.
oh man, I don't know about that. I don't want it to crumble in my hands,
Yeah, just falls apart. Opens it up, just blows away.
It's what is it? I got off-white pages, so if it was tan or brittle, then it'd crumble. But we'll see. It's not coming out of there though.
No. What do you think? Bonus round?
Bonus round. Okay, let's do one more.
All right,
we'll
one
do one
more.
more for you guys. I gotta get it. So
Bonus round. Some great stuff though, man. Thanks for bringing it in. Great stuff.
Okay, so
And
Dan was
also make sure you stick around because I've got something to give away to you guys too.
Oh, free stuff. You got to sign up for that.
Free
man.
stuff. Free stuff.
So Dan was talking about giant size X-Men, which I don't have. I need to get it, but I do have this one, which I guess is kind of a decent substitute here.
That is a good consolation prize. That is a good consolation prize.
I believe that's X-Men number 1.
X-Men number 1.
4.0. Off-white, the white pages. I think the colors are pretty dang good on that.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to have to take my sunglasses off to look at that. It's still pretty,
Dude, it displays really well.
The reds are still
it's definitely
pretty bright.
got some outside issues, you know.
Yeah,
but the red is very, very bright.
Probably the biggest thing that detracts from it is the bottom. Looks like almost like it got rubbed on like some sandpaper.
Well, that and the way it was cut. You know, a lot of times back in the day, the
Marvel
blades weren't exactly
the dull blades they use.
Yeah. Yep.
If you happen to have an Amazing Fantasy 15, a lot of times that outside edge is chipping or pieces missing because of what Dan is saying with the blades.
And so September 1963, Stan Lee story. Jack Kirby covering the art. First appearance of all your favorites.
And then the centering's off a little bit. If you look at this little text box there, some of the letters are wrapped off a little bit. So I guess, I can live with that. But
that is one sweet book.
I got a really good price on this, and I couldn't pass it up. So it was one on my list. And
even like in the X-Men, man, that red is like...
Who doesn't like the X-Men,
Yeah, I mean, that's just an absolute classic. Plus the first appearance of Magneto.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. Yeah,
that's another one. People forget it's not just the X-Men. It's the first appearance of their biggest villain.
Well, Magneto. He's probably now I'm thinking about favorite villains. He might be number 1. He's up there. He's a cool villain.
Very, very, very powerful. That's for sure.
I think on this cover we have Angel.
We have the original 5. We don't have Professor X though. No Professor X.
I think they call her Marvel Girl, but I think that's Jean Grey, or she turns into her name gets changed. But
yeah, it's Jean Grey.
Yep. They got the vintage pullover costumes.
The classic.
Iceman looks like a blob of snot.
Iceman, and then Angel with the bazooka, because he was like, man, all I can do is fly around. I need something.
And then Beast has a magical trapeze coming out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, man, you just kind of bring that around. You just throw it up on stuff and just wait for your moment and just swing in. I can't tell you how many parties I go to where I just swing into the door.
This is another one of those blue chip books, great investment book. I guess they're making brand new X-Men movies. They're thinking about it. Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. The woman who's been playing Sansa Stark is still supposed to play Jean Grey.
Okay.
So they are going to do more stuff now that they have X-Men TV show with
Gifted is coming out
Gifted
soon.
That's going to be coming out soon. Who doesn't like the X-Men? Seemingly most of Marvel. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole them fighting about the rights and all this shit. But I think there's been a little bit of a detente there.
Yeah. I put this book kind of with Avengers because it's like a first appearance of like a group of people, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Well, as far as like we were talking about before about books where they have iconic covers and then everybody's on the cover. I mean, this literally the only person that's not on this cover is Professor X, which is a big deal. Don't get me wrong.
I think the next valuable one in this is it X-Men 4 First Brotherhood? It's Scarlet Witch, Toad.
Yeah, it's got a lot of first appearances.
That's an amazing cover because you actually get a frontal picture of I think Magneto and there's a big table in front of him and he looks amazing on it.
Yeah,
which is it's a good early X-Men issue if you can't swing number 1. Number 4 I don't have, but I know someone that does. That seems to have everything else.
we're gonna have him on in the future.
Yeah, he's got that book, and it's a pretty awesome book. I wish I had it myself, but I had to choose 1 or 4. I chose 1, so
I would have went with 1. But if it was a choice, I would have to go with 1.
Okay.
Why don't you hand me that guy? We're going to wrap this thing up.
This is giveaway time?
This is giveaway time.
This is a pretty sweet cover here, you guys, if you want to look at this here.
So, that is a Batman number 1 variant signed by Tom King. It also does have a certificate of authenticity.
Ooh, look at that. I got to get this in the shot.
This is what counts, people, right there. Dynamic Forces. So, yeah, if you guys want to use exclamation point Gimme, Gimme, we will give that guy away.
Hold on a second, Dan. Let me log on my phone.
Okay.
Doesn't
work for you.
I'm just kidding. I should have someone at home on my computer log in as myself. So get this.
There you go.
This is a pretty awesome cover. It's signed. And it comes with this certificate. So I'm a sucker for anything that comes with these things because it
You
usually
can
means
just make them yourself.
it usually means it's limited. Usually means it's probably worth something.
Yeah, I think
and
there's
it's just,
only they only need 125 copies of those with the variant as far as from Dynamic Forces. So I mean that's a good number. They are I think they are numbered. Should be numbered.
yeah, this is number 16. I thought. Did you have another copy of this?
Yeah, I do.
I
It's
thought I
down
saw
there
the number.
somewhere.
It's probably under the sticker.
It
right
could be under the
there.
sticker. The sticker is not on the book. It's just on the plastic, so you can change the plastic.
I had
if you
another
like.
copy. I saw it. It said the whatever 16 out of whatever.
Yeah, it's typically hand numbered. Tom King, man, he's been killing it on Batman, and it's the number one. So I mean, there's still a lot of number ones out there, but signed by Tom King, it's all good.
I gotta say, this is one of the better Batman covers I've seen in a while.
Yeah, is that Jay Lee? It is a Jay Lee cover.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
like Batman? He's got the greatest
like Jay
villains in the
Lee.
world.
So yeah, man. Any final thoughts?
Alright.
Any moment of zen about your comics?
Moment of zen. Not really. I got these things locked up.
It is Jay Lee.
obviously. Yeah. I pull them out once in a while to look at them.
So
Kinda.
just in a safe.
Yeah, they're locked up in a safe. I pull them out once in a while to look at them. They're nice to look at. Sometimes I'm like, man, do I have these or not? And then I try not to get too emotionally attached because one day I will sell these when they
Okay.
hopefully go up.
Okay.
That's the plan. Whether it's 10 years, 20, 30 years, I will sell them eventually.
Stick around for the end when I'm gonna flash his address for everyone.
Yeah.
What?
You're welcome to come.
He's
You might end up on the news.
He's also armed. Very, very heavily armed.
I got tile in my house. Tile is much easier to clean than carpet. It's all tile.
Did that
All tile.
did that
man.
on purpose. So yes, last call for the comic, the Batman #1, the Jay Lee variant, signed by Tom King with a certificate of authenticity. You can do an exclamation point, gimme GIMME, and yeah.
And this
Right,
thing
right
is
now you got like
official,
a
man.
1 in
It's
4 chance.
Sealed here with this little shiny sticker there. So I would recommend not opening this thing up if you win it.
Yeah, I mean this sticker will come off easy. They just slap those on
Well,
for us to
I'm talking
for
this
us
one
to
here,
scan.
the seal one.
Yeah, no, I suggest kind of keeping them in there because like with the
Yeah.
with the own thing. Is that double bag though? No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, these little things come off really easy if you're careful. They just they peel right off. So. Hey, let's see here. Who's done what?
Yeah, we got to roll the dice here to see who wins.
Yeah, I gotta see here. All right, last call. Here we go. Oh, Mr. Mike Mack.
Congratulations,
Mr. Mike
We got
Mack.
a winner.
You have won the Batman #1 Jay Lee variant, signed by Tom King. It'll be in your pull, man. So whenever you want to come get it. Oh, Gunner's like, hey, I'm back. Like, yeah, dude, we're actually wrapping it up, brother.
Oh,
Just
man,
got
you
done.
Missed a good show, man.
Yeah. So this was the first time we're gonna do this. I want to do this more in the future. So if you want to be on for the Fab 5 favorites, I'm probably gonna do it on Fridays mainly because I think Fridays would be fun because then I can add another thing on there. Fab 5 favorites on Friday.
Gotcha. That sounds good.
Otherwise, we can do it whenever your schedules work. So yeah, if you guys want to be on, just let me know. Give me a list of books. We can talk about it and see if it's gonna work.
Dan brings me back again. Maybe I'll bring some other big books. I'm gonna have to bring my Sherman tank though. Down.
Yeah, we'll have to get it on
14
God.
mile
Like I
here,
said,
man.
I'm not paying for the Brinks car. So. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. I did remember to record this time, so I will post it on YouTube within the next couple of days, and try to get that thing rolling a little bit more.
Big shout
So,
out to Dan for having me on. I appreciate it, and
You're welcome.
big thanks to Warp 9 for
Thanks.
being the host.
We
You
try.
guys should come down, man. Get some cool stuff. You like comics? There's
If
some
you've
good
never been
ones
here before.
here.
So yeah, thanks guys. We will see you next time.